Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tim Black, and if you've been keeping up with Dr. Cornel West's run for the presidency, then you're going to be pissed off when you see this latest interview with Chuck Todd and Senator Bernie Sanders. During this interview, Chuck Todd, he demeans, dismisses, and is downright disrespectful to Dr. Cornel West. Today, we're breaking down this shocking interview, and we're going to expose how mainstream media tries to sabotage any campaign that tries to push through the status quo. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this. When I first brought this issue up on Twitter, it was like an aha moment. Because I'd seen the interview, but I had missed this point. And then it stuck to me. So I posted it on Twitter and I said, hey guys, check this out. And you should have saw the responses that were coming in from various commenters. They felt like I felt. Here's just a few of the responses. Some of the language got a little salty, so I didn't include those. People were pissed off. So what's in that clip? Let's run it, and then we'll talk about it.
Let me ask you about Cornel West. He was a co-chair of your campaign in 2020. He's flirting with a Green Party bid for president. The numbers tell the story between 2016 and 2020. You can directly correlate the two third-party candidates, their collective total. That was the difference between Biden winning states and Clinton losing those key states. Are you trying to discourage Cornel West from running?
Well, I've known Cornel for many, many years. He's a very independent-minded guy. He will do what he wants to do.
Chuck Todd has the audacity to ask Bernie Sanders, hey, have you tried to discourage Cornel West from running? Bernie Sanders is like, man, what are you asking me this question for? Dr. West is a free man. So this looks horrible on his face, and it looks horrible when you dig into it. When you think about the ramifications behind the question. Have you tried to discourage him? As if he's getting chided or reprimanded, condescended to, talked down to. As if Dr. West doesn't have his own free mind. He can't decide what he wants to do without the help of Bernie Sanders. There are no permission slips for Dr. West. Dr. West does what Dr. West chooses to do. Chuck Todd talks as if Bernie Sanders could scold Cornel West into submission. Oh, Tim, you're reaching. No, I'm not reaching. Did you talk to your boy, Bernie? Well, Chuck Todd, you wouldn't ask Bernie that question about a white woman or any woman, and you don't get to ask that question about a black man. And as a black man, I'm all kinds of not feeling this question. But that's not it. You want to see how Chuck Todd continues his problematic questioning of Bernie Sanders about Dr. Cornel West? Who's that on the show? He's asking, so that's the worst part. You asking Bernie Sanders about what Dr. West is thinking and what's going on in Dr. West's mind. Well, you could just talk to Dr. West. But let's continue, folks. I want to show you this. Here goes clip 2.
One of your chief political advisors is concerned that Cornel West is being taken advantage of by maybe people that simply want his name on the ballot. Do you have those concerns?
I really haven't followed it that closely.
All right, Bernie Sanders.
This is just as bad as the first. In this clip, Chuck Todd is insinuating that Dr. West doesn't have the faculties to make up his own mind, as if he's a naive novice who doesn't understand how politics works, and Bernie has to enlighten him what he needs to do, because we know Dr. West can't think straight. Dr. West can't come up with his own opinions and make his own deliberate actions. He needs Bernie Sanders to hold his hand and make sure he understands and gets it. I mean, there has to be something wrong with Dr. West. He's not siding with us. He wants to go his own way, so there's got to be a problem. Maybe we need to have him checked into the psych ward. Why? Because he doesn't agree with the liberal corporate media nonsense that Chuck Todd is spewing. And he doesn't agree with the Democratic Party's performance up to this point when it concerns black people, working people, poor people, children, seniors, none of it. Peace around the globe, none of it. And Chuck, it has nothing to do with is his faculties working. The problem is his faculties are working too well. He gets it too much. He understands too fundamentally. He's got too much of a comprehensive view of how things work within the Democratic Party. Chuck floats this little narrative in a conniving, sneaky, underhanded way, doesn't he? He tries to use some scapegoat or someone inside the Bernie campaign as telling him that maybe Dr. West is being used, led astray, run amok, bamboozled. I wonder who that person could be. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who could be inside Bernie's camp. I mean, because we got what? We got Senator Nina Turner, and I got a feeling I could bet Chuck Todd's comb over that it wasn't Nina Turner who told him that Dr. Cornel West is being used. He don't know what he's doing. He out of his tree. Then who else we got? We got David Sirota. I don't think it was David Sirota. I don't think David Sirota would do such. So then we got Simone Sanders, and Simone Sanders is so far up Joe Biden's ass, she don't know what day it is. She ain't thinking about Cornel West. Who else is left? Oh, I know. Jeff Weaver. Pretty much everything negative that happens to Bernie Sanders, for some reason, Jeff Weaver have his name all over. Every time I seen Jeff Weaver associated with something with Bernie Sanders or any, and matter of fact, any progressive that's running for any office, I'm always like, could have did better than Jeff Weaver. And look, and since I can't be certain who the leak was, if there was a leak, because Chuck could be making this all up. I mean, I don't trust up Chuck. No, I don't. But, okay, let's say maybe Chuck is telling the truth. Since I don't know who it is, I'm not going to float that. I'm not going to say, but I got a strong inclination. I'm leaning Jeff Weaver as being the culprit. So you're starting to see the big picture, right? You see where I'm coming from? See, the Democratic Party and the elites within the party and the mainstream media, which are tied to the Democratic Party and the money machine, they have a vested interest in keeping things the status quo. And any candidate that goes outside of that, they're coming for them. That's what they do. They're in a concerted effort to sabotage Dr. Cornel West and anybody else's candidacy who's outside the margins of what's acceptable to the Democratic or the Republican parties. Because that's how the money machine keeps cranking, baby. You get it. The liberal media has a long track record of talking down to black voters, young voters, and women voters. They've perfected it. And for some reason, when they do it, it's not nearly seen as offensive as when the conservative media does it. I wonder why that is. Now that you understand how corporate media uses soft smears in order to sabotage Dr. West's campaign, don't fall for this type of nonsense. Don't let it put doubt in your mind about the campaign going forward. And remember, these type of smears are not only employed by corporate media, but also by independent media. I just did a video that you may have missed where I talk about how progressive independent media are using some of the same tactics that corporate media are using. Watch this next video and you'll get a full picture of exactly what I'm talking about. It's a new day.